We are back on Fight News Now, getting set for Bellator's kickoff to their 2016 campaign there in Fresno, California on Friday night, and it features the return of Paul Semtex Daley.
The Bellator MMA cage is headed back to Fresno, California this Friday night when the promotion holds its Bellator 148 card from the Save Mart Center. In the night's main event, notorious knockout artist Paul Semtex Daley returns to mixed martial arts when he takes on Tennessee native Andy the Stunner Uhrich. Daley is no stranger to fight fans, both in kickboxing and MMA, as the British striking expert has been carving out a reputation for himself for well over a decade with a variety of violent knockouts. Explosive like his moniker would suggest, Semtex has finished 27 of his 37 professional wins by way of knockout, with an additional 14 KOs in the kickboxing ring. Not to be confused with a fighter who chooses his opponents, Daley has faced the likes of Pat Healy, Jake Shields, Josh Koscheck, Nick Diaz, and Tyron Woodley in his storied career, and holds knockout victories over Martin Kampmann, Dwayne Bang Ludwig, and current Bellator standout Daniel Weichel, to name a few. Looking to make his own name in the sport with a big win over Daley is unheralded ground specialist Andy Uhrich. A veteran of Bellator, Strikeforce, Titan FC, and even Fight Master reality show, Uhrich enters the fight on the strength of a career-best 3-fight win streak as he prepares for the biggest opportunity of his career. In the co-feature of the evening, two-time Division I All-American Chris Honeycutt meets fellow collegiate wrestling standout Paul Bradley in a do-over of their July 2015 meet, which ended in a no contest due to an accidental headbutt. A teammate and training partner of Josh Koscheck in Fresno, Honeycutt will enjoy a hometown advantage as he looks to keep his perfect 6-0 record intact. Across the cage for him is the well-traveled Alliance MMA fighter Bradley. A veteran of the UFC, Strikeforce, and now Bellator, Bradley is known for his hard-nosed fighting style and almost legendary durability. Sporting an impressive 22-6 record, only one man has ever successfully finished Bradley in a fight, current UFC champion Luke Rockhold. Also on the card, Ryan Couture, son of UFC Hall of Famer Randy Couture, looks to extend his current win streak to 5 straight when he meets dangerous Brazilian Patrick Pitbull Freite, and former pro boxing standout Rafael Butler meets one championship veteran Tony Johnson Jr.
All right, and here with John Ramdian and Robin Black to chat about Bellator's first card of 2016. They're in Fresno. It's going to feature Andy Uhrich taking on Paul Daley. Probably not the matchup that first would come to mind amongst Paul Daley opponents. Probably a lot of people learning about Andy Uhrich. But this was also to feature the Bellator debut of Josh Koscheck, who had to pull out of this card in Fresno naturally. His training partner, Chris Honeycutt, will be on the card against Paul Bradley, but that was certainly one of the big draws to this particular card, and getting to that eventual rematch with Josh Koscheck and Paul Daley, which could have headlined this show.
Yeah, and if you followed any of Paul Daley's antics leading up to this fight, he's had wanted pictures. Where is Josh Koscheck? Considering that we're in his hometown, he said, well, it seems like I'm the biggest star. Where's Josh Koscheck? He's nowhere to be found. But one thing about Paul Daley, this guy knows how to entertain. He's doing his job, and once the cage door closes, this guy's magical. He's going to try to knock your lights out, and that's the appeal. Also on the card, Ryan Couture, Patrick Pitbull. So it is a really solid card. I'm surprised that Bellator, because Tony Johnson's fighting on this card as well. Anthony Johnson, Anthony Johnson, the same Tony Johnson that lost to Daniel Cormier.
Easy Oliver Stone, oh my God.
And then on top of that, Johnson made the move to train with Daniel Cormier at AKA. So they could have sold it this way, Anthony Johnson on the card. But I'm interested to see the Couture fight, and then the Paul Bradley matchup too, a rematch from 2015. So there is intrigue there. Can they deliver?
This Paul Daley fight, we're not there. He's fighting a solid, talented guy, but they aren't afraid to get their toe into some, oh, don't worry, he'll wreck this guy style fights. I don't think this is quite one of those, but we have seen some of those. Those make you a little uncomfortable as a fight fan. They also lean towards promotion. We need a fight that Koscheck can win and Daley can win. Then we got to hype it up and sell the fight with the two of them. That never works. Almost never. There's so many moving parts. There's such a confusing landscape in which people take their buffet plate and put on entertainment. You can get them to watch this weekend and not next weekend. You're better off just to make the fight. Yeah. You're better off just to make Daley versus Koscheck. You can't control these things. It's such a confusing landscape. So that one, that's a little strange. But Ryan Couture, man, all you got to do is talk to him for 5 minutes and you see how smart he is. and he's very even-keeled, just like his dad. And he'll look at this Pitbull fight as a great opportunity against a bigger opponent to make a bigger mark, to move further ahead in where he is in Bellator, to make himself more money, build his audience, and all the things that you want to do. He's going to look at it that way, enter it real calm, look to take this fight to the ground or the cage, and operate.
I just love that his style is so different than his dad's because, you know, naturally, I think when you'd hear,
Pardon the pun.
Exactly, right, that Couture or any athlete that has a parent or family member in the sport, they're compared to them. Randy Couture, known for his stand-up wrestling, his Greco game. Ryan Couture is a whiz in the jiu-jitsu department. If this guy can get you down to the ground, you get to see some stuff that you don't normally see in MMA.
Pretty neat, too, if you think about it. By the time that Ryan starts training, there's much more jiu-jitsu available that's smooth. Both of them are problem solvers. Both of them like to figure out the answer and make it the easiest route to the answer. And jiu-jitsu, when Ryan was coming up, was that answer, where when his dad was coming up, wrestling was what he could was available. But they both use these two very different approaches, very much the same way. Just solve the problem.
And you can also expect on Friday night, they'll be building a lot for their Houston card next month, which is one of their big events, and this is going to kind of set the table for that, probably with some involvement of some of the key figures who are fighting in Houston in a couple of weeks. So that is coming up on Friday night, and coming up Monday night, Robin Black and John Ramdeen will be discussing whatever goes down in Bellator on 5 rounds.